southbound on Highway 99.
Can you give me more info on that call? Just clearing another call. I'm headed over there. Closing fast on a vehicle that matches the description. That reported party? All units go to condition 2. Piled into a rig. Stand by.
This is an emergency broadcast to all frequencies. Survivors in the Pleasant Valley region should make their way to the whitelisted server of Tranquility immediately. Server admins are standing by to monitor your activity. Watch out for increased levels of cooperation amongst various native inhabitants. Warning, the H1Z1 infection is at an all-time high. To protect yourself and your friends, gang violence is acceptable, but rule violators will be shot. Repeat, rule violators will be shot. The Pleasant Valley Board of Trustees on Tranquility welcomes all newcomers and would like to remind everyone out there in the wasteland to stock up and stay vigilant. This concludes the emergency broadcast. Tranquility for all, peace for none.
Cool. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Undead Zone here on the Matani.com here at TMC. I'm here with McLeod.
Hello.
And hopefully we have synced the sound correctly today. We'll see. People in chat can help us out and make sure that that's going along because obviously we muted away.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Hello, everybody in chat. How are you today? Hopefully you enjoy the show and we talk about some interesting stuff related to H1Z1.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody that you can always donate to the show. Mention my name. You can mention McLeod's name too. Doesn't really matter. But anything that you donate to the show, I will send straight to Gommelnox. Hey, Nerzen. We will send it to Gommelnox. So if you look at the big purple banner down below us, where Gommel's talking about going to TwitchCon, we'd really like you to donate to him and help him get to TwitchCon rather than be concerned with the show. But yeah, that's it. You can always subscribe if you haven't subscribed to thematani.com. There are a number of streamers that stream here, and you can support them all by subscribing during our show. And one of the things we always like, if you haven't become a follower of thematani.com yet, please follow the channel during the show. We would appreciate that. So, there it is. That's our PBS announcement for this segment of the show. We'll do it again a few times because I'm under contract to do so. So
I've seen the contract. It's very harsh.
It's very harsh if we don't do that. We got Blue Bucks here today too, and as always, we're going to talk about as much as we can about Just Survive. Even though that we've got the big King of the Kill release that happened this week, we may chat about that a little bit too.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a big release, but like it was a big announcement and stuff like that to, when they're releasing and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and they've got the big new map over there, and we don't have it yet, so it's kind of sad. It's
kind of sad. Well, you can still, if you're one of the people who got in before the actual split of the game, you've got King of the Kill anyway. So, I mean, I've spent a little while kind of playing a few King of the Kills on the new map, and it's okay. It obviously, the guys up in Daybreak Games have like an improved version of it on their like internal kind of test server, but it kind of they need to bring that out. They need to bring that out. This like they should really like. I kind of feel like they should have brought it out this weekend so people could have the weekend to kind of really go to town on it, kind of thing. I mean, they're saying that they might bring it out like next week, but the thing with that is you missed the weekend kind of crew, right? You missed the weekend bump in concurrent users.
Absolutely. We all know that Sunday evenings, right, in particular, through Wednesday are low gaming times for all games, right? People don't play those days.
You'll be surprised. There's actually the bump in concurrent users on during the day is like, or during the weekend, actual fact is actually Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, and that's why I said Sunday evening, right? Into the week, because everybody's prepping for the week. Yeah.
Yeah, after that, it kind of goes down, and then on sort of Saturday, it picks back up with that usual bump on the Saturday, Sunday.
Yep, and it's always interesting, but that tends to go across most games, surprisingly.
Yep.
And that's why I never understood when they tried to release things during that time. Any game that releases things during that time, right? I would always rather release on a Thursday or a Friday because
Um,
obviously I'd take off a Thursday or a Friday to play the games, right?
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like the other kind of thing is I would like if I was releasing on a Thursday, I'd probably release on a Thursday because like you don't want to be one of those you don't want to be one of those developers who releases on a Friday with a whole bunch of bugs and then just basically tells people to uh, you know to essentially just deal with it for 2-3 days.
Well, yeah, whenever you're releasing a major piece of software, and it doesn't matter if you're a gaming company or whatever, staff has to be around for issues, right?
Yeah,
Never trust
exactly.
third-party chat apps.
I don't know quite what you mean by there by
Yeah, Aramis, what are you talking about?
unless you're talking about like what is it? Better TV. Like I don't know whether you use better TV or not. But, like I do, and it's perfectly fine. That little link that I sent up there is basically like what I've been kind of randomly browsing
Mm-hmm.
using on SteamCharts.com, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. It kind of tells you kind of some interesting like interesting information about like games in Steam and how popular they are, and usual kind of stuff like that, which is pretty cool. You can kind of see like from that particular thing. That's the one for King of the Kill,
Right.
and it shows like you can zoom like all time, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 7 days, and 48 hours. But it shows you the kind of the interesting sort of like wave of peak and trough kind of
Mm-hmm.
when people are on, when people are not on. And it's kind of cool to watch. It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I would
Um,
like Eve Offline to use this particular slider. I like it a lot.
it's really cool. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I actually I found it really really easy to use and really kind of cool. Really
Yep.
yeah. So yeah.
This is the
Being all geeky. I'm
this
just
is
being
the
geeky.
yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah. So we've got King of the Kill stuff coming out. We had the big announcement. What was it yesterday? Yesterday about bringing bullet construction back, right?
Yeah, everyone was talking like I mean to be fair, like a lot of people have been complaining about the fact that they've left because bullet conversion went and all that, and like it was never going to come back in the same way. I
Mm-hmm.
can link the actual article.
Sure. Link
Why
that
don't
up.
you- I'll link the article. This is like that's the article. Um, Upcoming bullet conversion. That isn't like the numbers that you see there aren't finalized. They're looking, for feedback for those for the numbers on the charts and this, that, and the other.
Right.
A lot of people have like kind of looked at that and gone, "Holy God, what the hell are you thinking?" Because essentially, what it kind of looks like is when you salvage bullets, they give you gunpowder, and from the recipe components and the salvage yield that they show, it's almost essentially a 2-to-1 bullet conversion, and people were talking about the fact that that's far too low. That it needs to be 3-to-1, 4-to-1, or even 5-to-1, and um, that they were also talking about the fact that explosive recipes would have to change significantly then as well,
Yeah.
because if you're going around collecting 35, 40, 50 rounds easily from apartment blocks in PV,
Mm-hmm.
and coming back with essentially what you want is like 40, 50 gunpowder. That's insane. Like, especially if you're crafting IEDs at the kind of current recipe.
Yep.
That's just ridiculous. Literally, there would be nothing standing on the server in any way, shape, or form at some point.
Absolutely, and that's the first thing that hit me was the gunpowder. Not only that, but it was up above where they said, "Hey, in order to make this actually functional, we had to change the weight of gunpowder to 1.
Oh yeah, and that
And
would
I'm
mean
sitting there going, damn, well, just
ka-ching.
think what I can carry to, a base raid now, right? It was amazing, right?
Yeah,
And
like
yeah, the bulk cost on gunpowder to 1, right? And I'm sitting there going, well, we're going to mule a crap load of gunpowders going forward.
yeah. I mean, Christ, you could mule so much explosives.
You could mule over 2,000 gunpowder on every mule, right?
Definitely, like 2,400, probably around about that, 2.5.
I'm not sure. I mean, out in the audience, what are you thinking about some of this stuff with the bullet conversion? I mean, feel free to join in the conversation. It's not
Yeah,
just what
well,
we say, right? It's what you guys say.
exactly. This conversation shouldn't just be between Eric and myself, but also between all of you guys. So, like, keep the comments coming about the stuff that we're talking about, or pitch in with some new kind of chat topics.
Yeah, it's also we're also okay to be told that we're a little bit crazy about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
and the other thing that people were talking about was where was it? They was the manufacture of shotgun rounds, right? Where they
yes.
need so when you dismantle a shotgun round, you got plastic scraps, and you need
Yeah.
plastic scraps to assemble them, right?
Yeah, you're gonna need it, like for basically for the way that they kind of see it as the shotgun kind of shell case, the plastic shell casing sort of thing.
Right. So they were saying, what are you going to do? Introduce shredding of bottles now, right? In order to get that, I'm not sure.
I like I like that because it gives the tertiary kind of, it gives sort of like a way that people could accidentally use up bottles, like if you're constantly shredding bottles, like if you have like say for example you have a group of people and one of them isn't too understanding of the fact that you need a whole bunch of bottles or you need to keep a whole bunch of bottles for ethanol for raiding, and they come along and they go, well, we need loads of shotgun shells, but we don't have any.
I lost you,
And
McLeod.
he just starts shredding a bunch of bottles, like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you need bottles for other things as well.
yeah, so like it kind of makes sense that you kind of have to, either you have to like make the conscious decision of making sure that bottles are stored correctly and not being broken down when you don't need them to be broken down, or kind of like having to actually make that either or kind of decision, to having shotgun shells and by extension explosive tipped arrows as well. So
I don't think, when I look at this last wipe, I don't really think that people lacked for bullets, right?
no.
And this is probably, an exercise in why game developers have to be very careful with certain things, right? You've heard me talk before about Eve is sometimes too complicated to get new people into it earlier. There's some things that need simplified, right? And recipes are one of those things. I'm a little concerned. Not that their recipes are anywhere near the complexity of CCPs for Eve, right? But but
Do you not remember the recipe? Well, I mean, there's still the recipe for making fuel blocks, but like,
oh, that's
remember having to like put all the individual amounts in the sort of specified amounts that it's used every hour, like into a player in station, like a POS. Like
yeah. If the purge
that
were
was-
legal at that
that
point in
was
time,
hard.
yeah, if the purge were legal at that point in time, I would have been in Iceland. So so yeah, but when you look at that, so and I look at this and I'm sitting there going, are we making something about bullets just too difficult, right? And should it just be very simple? You can break bullets down into components like you could before. The ratio isn't quite as good for rebuilding, right? So maybe you broke a bullet down into a single component and now you need 3 to assemble one, right?
Well, no, I genuinely think that like the ratio of rebuilding bullets should be terrible. Like, 5-to-1, maybe even 10-to-1. But like, I mean, that's just me. Like, I guess I'm just kind of wanting H1Z1 to be a little bit more hardcore than it is. Like,
Well, I think, and that's
if
one
you
of the things.
really want, like, if you really want those sniper rounds, and you can't get your hands on them, or you really want those shotgun rounds, but you can't get your hand on them, and all you can get a hold of is 380s or 44.
Yeah, and that's I think 10 to 1 might be a little draconian, but I would be willing to see things like 4 or 5 to 1 probably. I mean, I'm in there, but again, I'm flexible with it. I mean, but this
Yeah.
is also, I think a lot of people left the game because they couldn't get the bullets that they wanted or didn't feel they could, right? Some people only like to use the shotgun. Some people only like to use the 308. People don't like to switch between guns, right? And they
Well,
want to get that ammo.
you can tell you can tell people's love for the shotgun 308 combo because I mean in King of the Kill the kind of every so often they bring out like the I think it's called like skirmish or something like that where they have like a slightly different rule set for a King of the Kill match, and one of the most like probably the most popular um, like version of that is shotguns and snipers, where basically every single gun is either a shotgun or a sniper, and you just go around like that. Like that is the most popular like twist on the usual kind of rule set
Yeah.
on King of the Kill, and that kind of makes sense from a kind of perspective of people coming from Just Survive, having used shotguns and snipers almost exclusively, and being able to use that in King of the Kill. So yeah,
Let,
it makes sense.
I wanted to talk about, if we can, some of the popularity in games that are kind of like King of the Kill. And let's look at Battlefield 1 and different games like that. And even World of Warships falls into this, right? Where you wait for a small skirmish to happen, right? You get in the queue, you wait for that skirmish to happen, you play through that game, and then you do it again, right?
Yeah,
I am wondering,
rinse and repeat cycle, right?
yeah, I am wondering and think about this in terms of the psyche of players in certain games. In Eve, when you lose something, it hurts, right? It's painful,
Yeah,
right? And the bigger the thing you lose, the more painful it is. You look at Just Survive, same thing. You can load up a base with goodies, and if it gets hit, they're gone. Somebody else has them, somebody else has used them, right? You can truly, truly, truly lose something, right?
yeah.
And that makes people upset and mad, right? Do we have the gravitation toward games like the Battlefield ones, the King of the Kill, where while you may lose things in the game that you accumulate, you don't really lose things because you're going to come into the game again in 10 or 15 minutes and have it all. Or if you get shot, you spawn with a whole set of ammo and weapons, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if those type of if the survival type of games just aren't weighing on people and they just don't want to deal with the irritation. What do you think?
I think it's kind of two little. It's sort of two mindsets, but it's kind of two mindsets, and it's also kind of games that are geared differently for different like lifestyles, I guess. Because things like King of the Kill, things like Battlefield 1, things like Call of Duty, and that kind of thing, like they're very intense but short kind of time span, short period kind of games. Like, I mean, to some degree, like you have your CS:GO kind of matches that last a certain period of time or can last much longer. But you're not in a sense sort of tied down hour upon hour upon hour into something that you kind of feel if you actually let real life kind of actually dictate what you do, you're going to lose stuff that you can't get back. So in a sense, it's a little bit more accessible for people who actually have active lifestyles, more kind of involved like real life, dependencies, that kind of thing. So
Yep.
it's more accessible in that sense. So it's going to have a bit of a more broader appeal to more people. So that's probably why it's more, just more popular. You can pick things up. You can pick it up, put it down, pretty much just as quickly. I don't have any issue with halfway through a King of the Kill match just kind of going, oh, I got to go and do something, escape, end game kind of thing or whatever. But if you're in the middle of like for example in Eve, like if you're in the middle of a capital battle or a super cap battle with your super cap or capital, like there's no way you're going to be doing that unless you're at 10% Tido and you're traveling across
Yeah.
a 100 AU system, and you know that like you literally have 10 minutes to go off and do something. Like, you know, it's
That's
a
true.
completely different game, almost tailored to someone's lifestyle, someone who can actually put that kind of time away to actually play.
I can't tell you the number of times in Eve on the weekend where, you got into a fleet and it was supposed to be an hour long, right? And you got to be somewhere like a cookout at a family member's, right? Where
Yeah.
I just sit there and go, hey, I look over the screen like this, right? You guys just go and I'll meet you there, and whenever we're done.
Yeah. I remember many times in back when I was in Razor, flying with certain FCs who shall remain nameless, going, oh, it's going to be an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops. And we go through a wormhole to somewhere, and then the wormhole collapses, and then we have to find our way back. And then 4 hours later, it's just like, oh, God.
Yeah, same thing in H1Z1, right? When we're sitting there, if you're in a battle and you're raiding a base, it is what it is. And you don't want to leave your buddies, but, it's... Yeah, I just think that, going back to what we're talking about, is I just think some of these games that require more of your time and effort, not only is some of that player base getting older, but even the younger player base, they just don't want to spend time doing it. I'm not sure what...
They've got their active life. They've got active lifestyle. They need to be here. Need to be there. They, need to go down the mall, man. They need to go down the mall. They need to,
What's Quina protocol doing there? Quika? I don't know what that means.
That's someone asking whether I'm talking about Keisha or not.
Oh, but, Keisha?
I may or may not be talking about Keisha.
Oh, yes. Okay. I understand now.
There's no U. There's just QIC.
QICA, huh?
QIC.
Particular FC, perhaps.
He's honestly, he's like a really, really nice guy. Like really, really nice. But like, he's probably, to be fair, he's probably dialed that kind of stuff back a bit. But like, yeah. He used to take the piss a bit, but he doesn't anymore. So it's all good.
It is. Hey, it's that part of the show where I have to do my public broadcasting duties and remind everybody that if they'd like to donate to the show until TwitchCon, please donate to Gommel down below in the big purple thing.
There's a button
down below. Down. Yeah. Well, you're kind of at an angle there. It's more like, down. Down.
I stopped
made my camera
to
go
a relevant section.
But yes, so please donate to Gommel rather than the show. However, we would love it if you followed the Matani.com. There are a number of streamers that stream with us, and if you would so indulge yourself as to become a subscriber, we'd love that too. And that's $4.99 a month, and you would support the channel and all the streamers here on the channel at TMC. So you are watching the Undead Zone here on TMC, and we hope that you are enjoying the show. So we're in our last half hour here as we're going forward. And after us, stay tuned for the Meta Show. If you don't know anything about Eve and you hear us mention Eve, you'll learn a lot about Eve through the Meta Show for sure. Don't you think, McLeod? Or you'll side of Eve.
You'll learn a lot about Eve in a particular, point of view, definitely.
A particular point of view.
in the bit of vet kind of point of view.
Yeah, when you talk about when you're supporting your game or your site or anything, I love the over the topness that people always subscribe to their own team, for lack of a better term, right? I do like that, but generally from my perspective, outside the game, I don't really care. Brave Collective. The Brave Collective account started following me last week, right?
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm sitting there going, and I tweeted back to him, right? I'm like, why are you following me? But not that I'm upset about it, because I think Brave has done a lot for Eve, right? Certainly, they've helped a lot of players enjoy Eve, and I made sure to point that out. Although on the field of battle, we always fight against them usually, right? So But yeah, they're
That's
good
how the
guys.
cookie crumbles. It's
Yeah.
how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and as long as you understand that these games are all just pixels, right, and you don't wrap your whole life and personal well-being around how well you do in the games or the
You
game
know
itself, I think you're in a good shape.
the one kind of thing that I took from Eve, like that kind of really opened my eyes a little bit more
Yeah.
to how people actually like how you should be looking at games in general, gaming in general. Is when I first went to my first Eve player meet,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of realized that a huge majority of the people who play the game, same games that I play, the same game that I play, kind of thing, are actually just really genuinely really cool, really good people.
Mm-hmm.
They may want to play, a kind of a bit of uh, a bit of a drama queen in the game, or want to role play a bit of a sort of the evil kind of, the bad guy kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
But like for the most part, like when you actually meet them, talk to them, have a drink with them, have sort of kind of get to know them as like an actual person. It's it's really refreshing to see that like they're actually just for the most part really genuine, awesome people.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I think
go ahead.
the more people kind of get that kind of break that disconnect from actually sort of engaging with people one to one because they're just in front of screens and not actually seeing them face to face. Like the more understanding gamers would actually be, like just generally being
Yeah.
quite nice to each other.
I'll
So
say one of the things that I don't hear very often in H1Z1 because you can chat in local, right? Unlike you're typing in local for Eve, right?
yeah,
And I've heard people go off on Milk, when he says, "Hey, good game, bro," when he's been killed, right? Or he kills somebody, right?
yeah,
In first-person shooters, there's a little more animosity between players that I've
there it is.
seen.
There it
Um,
is.
and where we kind of go in, hey, good game, bro. I mean that's not taunting. It's like, hey, we had a fight. I won, you won, whatever. Get over it,
Yeah.
move on. But man, it's almost like people live to be instigators and agitators in some of these games. It's interesting to watch the psyche.
You know what? In actual fact, when you coming back to when you're talking about the difference between like a game with like a lot of longevity, like Eve, or like sort of Just Survive sort of thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
sort of very short kind of the short play games like the King of the Kills, like the CS:GO kind of thing. People, you feel a lot more anonymous in the kind of short run games that are generally kind of where where you're like rank matched, and
Mm-hmm.
where you very rarely actually play against anybody who you know.
Yeah.
In that kind of situation, you're a lot more anonymous, so you're a lot more. I guess people are more likely, because they have that anonymity, to be more harsh, be more brash than they would otherwise be.
Yep.
So that's probably where that kind of comes from a little bit. But yeah,
Yep. I
yeah.
think so. Yep. 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 I gotta type back to our boss.
I see.
I'm helping. You can see it in the thing.
Oh,
So yes.
people
Well, he
haven't.
wants forums. Oh, Jesus. That's not
Well,
what he
he
said
wants
in
us
his
to link
above.
forums. Does he want us to link forums? Like,
How we can do that too, and we'll talk about that. I mean, if you play games with the Imperium, or you're out there and you want to be involved in different games with the Imperium, I mean, head over
yeah.
to forumstheimperium.news.
Mm-hmm.
Also on thematani.com in the upper right corner, you could get a link to our Discord and you can join us there. We play all kinds of games. Archage, right, which is a show 2 hours from now, or hour and a
Yeah.
half from now about. There'll be a show just like this one on H1Z1 on Archage. We're going to be talking about Eve today as well. So if you want to play other games with us, look over there. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I've got a new graphics card, and I also bought a whole bunch of new games, so I'm going to be playing a whole bunch of interesting new games as well. I've been kind of really kicking ass on Doom recently, which has been kind of really fun. It's hectic, but it's like really cool. We also have a Reddit.
It's true. I forgot about that.
And that's the Reddit.
We have everything, Aquinas.
We're connected.
By the way, be on your best behavior. The boss is here.
Ah, right. Well, I mean,
I was just yelling about him too.
I'm linking all of our stuff for people to get connected.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
and good. You know what? And like I said, that's part of what I said. I mean, there may be games where you play against the Imperium, but you can play with the Imperium on other games too, right? And get all the same goodies we do. Make goonfleet.com great again. You know what I love about our forums
I think a Quintus doesn't realize that if you're not actually like API verified, goonfleet.com doesn't exactly have much.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do like the bee that does the spray painting and the squeegeeing. I think that's cool as hell. That for the logo in the upper left hand corner. If
I love that. Yeah. I'm glad that they haven't taken that down. I love it a lot.
I do enjoy. So you mean .net?
It's great. No, .com.
.com. That reminds
the one
me.
where
Do you ever
Solo
watch
Drakman is on the top and all that. Yeah, that's the official one. I'm certain of it.
Do you ever watch Jeff Dunham? You know who that guy is?
I don't actually. I don't think I'm.
Oh, look him up on YouTube. He's a ventriloquist. He's funny. He's got this one puppet, and its name's Peanut, and they're talking about JeffDunham.com, and he goes, his name Jeff Jeff, right? That's Jeffafa. That's how you say that, right? And he goes, and he starts going .com. He's advertising the site, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, I tell you what, he is pretty funny as a. Yes, he's a ventriloquist. He is awesome. See, Skeptic?
Yeah.
I've caught him live a few times.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I have, so I think he hasn't quite made it across the Atlantic yet. But
Yeah, Jeff Dunham is his name. So he's all his shows. I mean, he does. Do you get what is that show? It's like the comedy TV, the comedy.
Comedy Central?
Comedy Central. Do you get Comedy Central?
I would get it if I had Sky, but I don't have Sky, even though I have Sky Broadband.
Okay, he does he's done 1 or 2 annual shows there. He'll do a whole thing. He's done like a holiday show and then regular shows. So he's on there.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can check him out. So there's
Comedy Central is pretty mainstream as such. So it's not like he's some random that rarely kind of heard of, so he's doing well.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. He tours. He fills he'll fill an arena for sure.
Damn.
Yeah, he will.
I mean, to be honest, that is amazing in itself. If you're because you're a one man show essentially. If you can fill an entire arena of people just coming to see just you, that's really cool. That's I find that seriously amazing.
Yeah, last time we went to see him, it was, he filled a hockey arena, right? And we have a big, 22,000 seats.
Hockey arena. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's pretty good.
Yeah. God damn. that is an ego boost to anybody, right?
Yeah.
That's an ego boost to anybody. It's oh my God, how much money did I just make?
I know.
And I'm not splitting it with bandmates and, this, that, and the other.
That's true. Well, tickets are a little bit cheaper than, they're a little bit cheaper than going to a rock show, right? Or a, music event, but they're not much.
You don't have anywhere near the overheads, I'll tell you that right now.
No, you got a couple puppets, right?
Exactly. A couple of puppets.
Backdrop.
Some stationary lights, not even crazy lights that
brings guitar guy with him.
Yeah, no guitar, no guitar techs, no drum techs, no vocal, none of that. It's all good.
So, Does
Yes,
Space Mexican still play H1Z1? Yes, Space
he
Mexican
has.
does.
He
Eh,
has.
And even recently.
Yeah, actually, Quintus, if you after this, if you go back to the Matani.com's profile page on Twitch, one of the previous Undead Zones, I think, was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week.
It was last week we had Space on.
He was on. He was on. Yeah, he was on the Undead Zone. So, like, you can go back and see him talk about a bunch of crazy stuff.
I mean, he must really, really follow gaming companies and things because when he's on, he has some interesting perspectives on some of this stuff. I like when he's on.
Definitely.
And he originally started this show, didn't he? He was the original founder of the Undead Zone, I think.
Yes, he was. He was the original presenter.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Spanx back for a show.
That would be pretty cool.
It's been a long time since we've had some fun with him, and we need to bring him back. I think.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be nice to nice to just chill and chat with him.
So getting back to just look. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got it. Oh, because he's bad. No worries, Skeptic. No worries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See ya. And by the way, Skeptic, we do it ourselves if you'd let us, so it doesn't really matter. When we start talking about, the Just Survive piece of H1Z1, I think the other thing in that announcement that I found very interesting was, we want to change a couple things, and, people really hated the fact that they lost the ability to build their own bullets. But they also said, hey, we're not going to release a lot of new stuff until we stabilize the gameplay that's out there and balance it. And I thought that was really good.
One of the kind of interesting things about that is I've been taking a look at that Steam charts thing for a while, right?
Yeah.
And if you kind of look at if you go to the Just Survive one, I'll just link it again. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. I think that's right.
I think yes, you do. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hang on. Not quite.
What's wrong with it? I got it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it worked.
Worked. Awesome. When you look at the overall one, like the second kind of graph, like that's the overall kind of graph. But like between, I think it's like that second kind of little quarter bit, July to January kind of thing.
Okay.
That kind of that bump just starting at July 15 is like August, September, October kind of time, right?
Right.
And what actually happened there was, essentially, I was trying to figure out, because at the start that January, from January to July, it kind of looks like it's going sort of somewhat down, right? And then it picks up from July 15 to January 16, kind of on an upwards trend. And all through that kind of time, especially the start of that, is like the start of that July, Augusty kind of time, 2015, is Daybreak Games doing a whole host of performance improvements and stability improvements to the game.
Yep.
Like not adding big features, but just fixing the issues that people have had, like the kind of niggling small kind of and sort of moderate issues, like just basically cracking down on bugs, cracking down on exploits, cracking down on that kind of stuff. And when you look at the actual kind of the gains and this, that, and the other, average and peak players, like it's the August to September kind of thing where it's like plus 44% increase to people playing the game, like July, August, September kind of thing. And that's like, they're not adding a huge amount of people, but like they're just fixing the game.
Yeah. I mean,
you can see that flocks of people are coming back to the game because, they genuinely do like playing the game. It's just after a certain period of time, like bugs and broken game features and stuff like that just start to grate on people.
Yeah, and what we were talking about earlier, right? When you look at games like Just Survive, games where you work hard over a long period of time to gain things or build things, right? when they
Yeah.
get destroyed by other people playing the game, and those people are legitimately playing the game, it's one thing. It's irritating, yes, but it's part of the struggle of the game, right?
It is.
When you plant a whole bunch of crops and some dude, Ethernet cables into your thing, steals all your crops and Ethernet cables out, right? While you're standing there, right? And kills you, right?
Yeah.
You tend to want to, rage quit, right?
Yeah,
And
the kind of thing that runs through your head is, well, what's the point of me even putting the time to,
yeah,
grow all of this when I'm just gonna have someone come in, steal it, and shoot me?
right. And I don't want to get banned, so I'm not going to do the same thing they do. But then if I don't do that, then I can't really play the game, right? And
Yeah, a lot of
that
people.
that is what is really hurting Daybreak right now, right? And I think that's
It
the
is.
things they got to fix.
And the other issue is like it does stem from people like either abusing glitches or like you know using hacks and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And the only way to kind of solve that is to crush the exploitable kind of bugs and keep on evolving your methods of detection to
Yeah,
detect cheaters.
absolutely.
Because 9 times out of 10, when we've kind of caught someone who's actually using hacking software, and we actually confront them about it, like 9 times out of 10, what they tend to say, like, I mean, whether it's kind of truthful or not
Hmm.
is debatable, but like most of the time they kind of say, well, I got into it because I was being hacked on by a whole bunch of people constantly, and the only way to kind of deal with it was to go and buy the cheats and do it
Hmm.
myself, kind of thing. And it's really the wrong approach to go, in faced with that kind of situation, faced with that problem. But obviously some people kind of feel like they have no choice in the
Yeah.
matter, which is it's really it's really saddening, for that to kind of occur. And it's just like you kind of need a developer to kind of really realize that that's the reason why a lot of people do this sort of thing, and just basically redouble their efforts, to cracking down on the glitches, on the bugs,
Hmm.
and the exploits, and make sure that you're evolving your detection methods to detect
Yeah.
cheaters, because it'll like so long as you're constantly doing that, so long as you're putting some really decent effort into doing that, like you will see the you will see the gains, and you will see the PCU kind of account start to rise.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's probably I mean, when we would have people come to us on Tranquility, and I'm sure you had the same thing. The most angry, the most irate individuals, right, were the ones who had just been robbed of everything that they had inside their own base because somebody else cheated. Right?
Yeah,
They're the most mad, right?
yeah,
People who get banned and have their leadership come to us and they've lied to their leadership that we just banned them for no reason, right? Those
yeah.
leaders are not as irate as the people
No,
who have been cheated on. They're like, and you got to help me, and we can't help them as much as Daybreak can. Daybreak's got to fix their game. They got to fix their game related to base building. They got to fix their game related to cheating. And if they can make some substantial gains on that, I think you start to see a lot more people playing this game.
they will come back. They will
Yeah.
slowly come back. So long as it's not like a temporary thing. So long as people kind of see that you're committed to kind of doing this regularly for a long period of time, then they will come back.
Oh yeah, because I actually do enjoy the game. I really do like it. It's
Oh, I
got a
do
lot
too.
of great
I
feature function, man.
Yeah, very much so. I,
Yeah,
I I love the game as well.
yeah. I think it's cool. I do like the changes that they've made with the zombies and made them just swarm bases essentially. Around them.
Uh,
Um,
I I love the fact that some of the people coming, like, we had this with Space Max, didn't we? Like, where he came back and he was just like, fuck, we're like, every like maybe 5-10 minutes, like,
mhm.
when he came back and he was on comms and this and the other, every like about 5-10 minutes or so, you just hear him kind of go, "Fucking zombies,"
Yeah.
and it's just like, welcome. Well, like they've changed it so it's actually like a zombie survival game.
I do like the
That's cool.
zombies to some degree attacking bases. I don't know if I mean I'm torn on that change that they want to do.
Yeah, they
We'll
kind of need
see.
to fix it a little bit, so it's not as aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that'll be interesting. I do like they need to fix also the spawning into a zombie. There are issues with that, but I really like
yeah,
I really like the fact that when you die, you turn into a zombie and your stuff is on the zombie, especially when you're sitting there in big fights, because it really
yeah,
doesn't, I mean, yes, you've lost your ammo and everything, but you didn't replenish the other team as much unless they start killing the zombies. So I think that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Bring some balance to that fight. Is it too late for a new player to get into H1Z1? I have a link for how to get started in the Imperium.
Well, I wouldn't say it's too late. Um, I
Yep.
mean, you're going to pay a premium very soon after September 20th to get into King of the Kill, because King of the Kill is going to go up in price from, like, I think it's still 14, and that's going to go up to like 19 or something, 19, 20, when it
So
comes out 20th.
So, and when we're talking about the link, right? I mean, that is really, at the forums, right?
Hmm.
So forums.imperium.news, right?
Yeah.
You spell Imperium right?
Imperium.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like that right there. I got it right, right?
Yeah,
You check it.
yes. That's
Yeah, it
fine.
was telling me that it was spelled wrong. That was really bad. I don't like when spell checkers lie to me. Anyway, if you go there and you go into the H1Z1 section, um, Aquinas, there is a section there on how to get involved with the Imperium and H1Z1. And it's really
Yeah.
as simple as joining the Discord and yelling at McLeod, right? That's the easiest way to do it, right?
Don't tell them the cheat codes. Like,
It's true. I mean, if you catch us, right, we're going to give you the right roles to get in the Imperium channels. We're going to introduce you to the people. The best time to get involved, really, is right at a wipe. But you can always join now. There are people playing. H1Z1 Just Survive goes through these valleys and peaks, right?
yeah.
And when we get H1Z1 to a point where everybody says, hey, it's time for some updates, it's time for a new wipe, which is really where we're at right now. So it's a low point in the game.
Yeah, we're in a
There
bit
aren't
of a
as many
trough,
people, right?
a little bit.
But the moment that they announce, hey, there's going to be a wipe on a Thursday, well, we know that wipe won't happen for 4 days, because they always lie about the actual date of the wipe. But when wipe day happens, that's the day to get involved. You pop in the channel. And I'm not discouraging you from getting involved now. I mean, please do. It'll just be a little slower than what happens on wipe day. Wipe day,
Yeah.
everybody has to build their bases brand new. They have to try and get the land on the server that they want, and they have to begin collecting all the resources they need to fight each other and survive.
And they
That's
need
a
to do
big
that
day.
while fighting each other and surviving as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it gets really interesting on wipe day, and it's just a tremendous amount of fun. And I have a blast. You have somebody will say, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Right? That's what you hear mostly on comms. And you're like, go get me scrap, go get me wood. And you have people building the bases. And when they get the base of the base built, right, everybody's collecting ammo and things like that and getting ready to defend themselves. It's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, we talk about some of the issues, right? But that doesn't mean that the game is unplayable, right?
No, it's definitely not unplayable. There's kind of it's definitely not a complete product at the moment, and there's definitely issues with it. But it like people say like, oh my god, there's you go to Reddit and stuff like that, like you will hear people kind of going, oh my god, etc., etc., this, that, and the other, just being massive drama queens, massively like, you know, over exaggerating certain things. But then again, you go to almost any kind of subreddit and people do that anyway. At the moment, the cost of Just Survive, like you'll get your money's worth of enjoyable time out of Just Survive
Yeah.
from that price. So
Yeah.
not too bad.
And one thing I want to say, because we did get word of this, we are in the next, like, any minute. Any minute now. We are supposed to get new codes for Tranquility. So, Aquinas, if you don't, yeah, Reddit is awful. When you say Reddit, it's drama. I mean, when you look up, Reddit, in the dictionary, it says drama. So but if you don't have, Aquinas, your Tranquility code on TQ, the Tranquility server, which is our personal whitelisted server for H1Z1 that we moderate on and things like that. We're supposed to get new codes, and we will announce that on the forums that we linked earlier, the Imperium.news, when those codes are available for everybody to get from thematani.com. So if you don't have that code yet, Aquinas, actually, Aquinas, if you want to join right now, see me, and I'll get you taken care of. But yeah, we are expecting codes any minute. We're also probably expecting to grab a couple of admin if we can get in touch with them again, because we had a little downtime with them. So we'll be setting up a whole administrative team. So it'll be interesting as we go into the next wipe. Hopefully, it's soon.
TM.
Yeah, TM.
FYI, no, we don't get advance warning of wipes. We're just kind of predicting it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we can just tell by the player base, right? Player base is ready for something new. I haven't really seen a whole lot new on the test server, but I haven't gone out in the last week.
I think they Daybreak might be kind of putting together some new patch for the test server sometime soon. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, over the course of this week, I've been kind of wondering to myself, like, whether Daybreak Games, like, whether the Just Survive kind of team have actually, woken up to, at some point on the week to actually realize that they might want to be doing something to the game. But obviously they have, because they've released a dev blog and this and that.
Well, yeah, they just had a leadership change too, right? So it takes a little time to get your hands around where you want to go.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually,
new leader of a new team, you got to steer the ship, right? You don't want your first thing to be a failure.
No.
But I was very encouraged by a lot of the words that I read in the release that they recently have. I think that's good. Hopefully we will maybe get them on the show sometime and get to talk to them firsthand about some of this stuff. I think it would be great. And no, changers, we're not going to make you an admin. Forget it, because I don't even know why we let you in the Imperium. I'm not sure.
I'd like to get Greg, actually. I'd like to get Greg, I think it's Henninger or something like that. He'd be pretty cool to be on. If we could get him on the Undead Zone, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, we'll you know who we'll work on. We'll work Marconius over. Beat him up. Yeah. I'll try and bribe him with some beer or something, Take him to Fatheads, get him some wings and beer, drop it on him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not like you don't tempt him with beer. You tempt him with wine, and a really decent bottle of wine.
Yeah, we're talking about Marconius, right? Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
it's not
no, we're not talking about Marconius. We're talking about Carneros.
Oh, Carneros. So yes, a good bottle of wine for him. Yes,
a bottle of wine.
Yes.
Or you send him a gift of sending a flight of wine to somewhere.
Might have to send him some of my favorite wine, which is Wah Cellars, by the way, if anybody wants to get a good wine. Wah Cellars. It's fantastic. And by the way, you can only get it by ordering from them. You can't. They're not in stores. It's fantastic.
Oh, very nice.
We are coming up on that hard break and end. Yes, he is, Captain. So, want to remind everybody, if you haven't donated money to Gommel to get to TwitchCon, it is down below us in purple. Click on that rather than donate to this show until he gets to go there. I would personally appreciate that. He is a great guy. If you have not caught any of Gommel's streams, please do. He's a quadriplegic and he plays video games. He's got some great articles out there on thematani.com. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
From what I know, he's going to TwitchCon. And he's going to games for how people kind of game, like disabled people, how they how they interact with games and this, that, and the other, like basically really helping the sort of disabled gamers kind of
Yes.
angle at TwitchCon, which I think is really, really, really laudable, really kind of a real good thing to do. So
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what he does and to talk to him about that stuff. There's also another disabled gamer that follows a lot of my shows, Nate. He's a pretty cool guy too, and we like him.
well, hopefully he's watching, and if he is, then hey.
All right, we are gonna head out of here. The Meta Show is up next, or the Meta Boat Show, as some people like to call it now. Please stay tuned for that if you have never seen that, and also after that, we have the show on Archage this afternoon. And check down below because I think the schedule is all updated. We'll let you know, Red Bully, a little later. Please watch all the shows here on TMC and check the schedule below because, as I was saying, it's all updated, I think, at this point. So you can see when all the streamers are streaming. Thank you a lot for watching the show. Thank you for the follows.
Yep.
McLeod, I'll let you take us out.
Pardon?
I'll let you take us out. Your last word.
I was just going to say, in terms of Red Bully, like, any kind of changes to the admin team on Tranquility, you'll know through the forums. So, like, anything changes there, you'll see it there. So, like, that's the best place to kind of go for there. But anyway, have fun, guys. Have a great weekend. Come watch Boat at the Meta Boat Show because he's always a real dynamic and real fun kind of person to watch. So,
all right, I'm going to go watch the show. You guys take care. Have a good weekend. And we're out of here.